Hello, chat. Okay, today we're gonna be doing something slightly different. I know, on the schedule it said ask to leave her at some point, and I think I updated just in time last night. But then I found something weird last night, and I was like, we kind of have to play this one. There's gonna be no face cam or whatever the cam is today. I don't really know. The problem is that the game, I couldn't get the family share to work, but I know it's possible because other people have been able to do so. So I don't really know what's going on. I think it's just because my account's all weird at the moment, so I just have to... I don't really know. I have to fix it. But I can at least show you the cup. So we have our good, jolly friend, the one that I drink out of his head every day. You may say he gives me... Don't say that, don't say that, don't say that. But it's great. This cup is slowly becoming my favorite, so I'm glad that my wife and I bought this. Yeah, sorry about that. I was late. I realized a couple of funny things. So one is that I've been overdosing on melatonin for way too long. I didn't know that melatonin has a strict limit of around 30 milligrams. I mean, I knew that taking maybe 5 milligrams, 3 milligrams was enough, and I thought the pills that I got were like 3 to 5 milligrams because it's usually in like 5 or like 10. And so I figured it was on the lower end, but no, I was taking roughly like 11 to like 10 every single time. So every night I was going to sleep with like 20, which explains why my sleep schedule was so bad. I get the brain pops, that stuff is super annoying. The brain zaps or whatever they're called. I hear like loud noises too from my dreams, like whoa. So so yeah, that's why I'm late. Thankfully, I'm all out of sleeping pills, so it's not gonna happen again. Another cool thing that I found last night actually was this thing called a Game Center CX. Well, I knew about it beforehand and I heard about it. Basically, Game Center CX was a show where they just had this person, this like TV presenter, or they still have it actually. Apparently, he's still like here. They just go and they just play games and they try to beat the best games that Japan has to offer, right? It's fascinating to me that the show is still going on because the show started back in let me see the Wikipedia page I have open, 2003. This is probably the first ever like Twitch channel that but like it was not really a Twitch channel, but it is kind of a Twitch channel. It's just a dude on TV playing games. It's like fascinating, right? I only found out about it when I got when the channel I was watching, Great Sphinx, because he does this weird show called Gongo. I have no clue. Nobody knows what it is, but it is weird. He rated them, and so we saw it, and I was like, damn, this is actually kind of cool. But basically, yeah, it feels like the first ever Twitch channel, and all they do is they just sit in this room and they just play the game, and then they just try to beat the game, and they play everything, right, like all the way down. They even did like Minecraft. I don't understand. It's like, dude, like it's such a strange mix of games, right? You have Pokemon Snap, House of the Dead, Minecraft, Yoshi's Woolly World, right? You got Star Force, Super Mario Kart, Super Metroid. Again, it feels a lot like an early Genesis kind of like Twitch stream. The fascinating part is that there's a fan translation group that's been subtitling every single episode for you, so you can watch. I don't really know if I should talk about it, but you can easily find it if you search GCCX subtitled. But I don't know if I should show it just because like I don't want to be the harbinger of bad news. Like I don't want to be the one to get this DMCA, right? Because the show is still going on. It's not like they're legally allowed to do this technically, because then technically they're distributing the material of the work, right? It's not really fair use technically, because they just give like full, whatchamacallits, right? Like just like full drops of like the entire script. So yeah, I'm gonna stay away from showing that, but it is pretty cool that is available, because I would like to see, right? Because it's fascinating to think about how like gaming shows back then were. At least in the West, you had G4 TV. It was G4 TV. God, it's been so long. Yeah, G4. I remember they had like a game section, which or like the entire thing was about games. I don't know. It was a weird channel. I couldn't tell if it was like focused on games or it just had game sections. All I know is that it had portions where they did do like gaming stuff a lot, but they also had like weird like music sections and like other like stuff on it. But it's fascinating to see how like different things have sort of come up around games over the years, and how like streaming as a whole today has always been a weirdly enjoyable activity for people, regardless of the platform that it's on, right? I mean, if we even think about Justin TV, the progenitor of like Twitch, realistically, Twitch was really just started so some dude could walk around with a webcam attached to his like head or something, or like on his backpack to show off his like life. Then they expanded it to everyone else because they were like, oh shit, everyone wants to try this. And then even before that, we have G4 TV where people go on to talk about it. And even before that, there's a whole older television show. God, I wish I remember the name of it. I saw it actually on the Great Sphinx channel. Basically, it was just a dude who just went around and just saw like the latest games that were popping up in the space at the time, and they would play like Diablo 2 for a bit. They would play like Doom for a bit. They would play like stuff like that for like a bit. And it was fascinating to sort of see, right? Because it's endearing that the act of watching someone play a game and sort of like sharing in their joy has sort of always been there. And it also reminds me of the statement that like Chat once said about streaming is a lot like being the older brother, and you have the controller, but you never have to like stop playing. Like you can always keep on playing, and it's true, right? It's very fun to just keep on playing and sort of like share in the moments with people who just happen to show up. It's a fascinating approach to, I think, playing games in general. It's why it's kind of funny that it's like every now and then we'll hear stories of people who are trying very, very hard to prevent that. So I was looking into, at least for me, anecdotally, I was looking into what it takes to stream Final Fantasy VII, the remake. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Because as you'll know, the second part of that game is coming out soon. I've been waiting for that game for a while. I haven't gotten through the first game entirely. I remembered back exactly where I stopped, and I figured we might as well start like a new playthrough just for stream's sake. Because I've never played it on stream, right? The problem is that you have to be very specific about how you stream. Thankfully, it's not the whole Square Enix or Sony, saying thank you every 5 minutes. That was insane to me. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but Square Enix say thank you every 5 minutes. Yeah, here we go. There was a thing that they used to have where they forced you contractually to stream their games and say thank you every like 5 minutes or like something. It was kind of crazy to me to like hear about, but it makes sense because they seem very out of touch with streaming in general. But for Final Fantasy VII Remake, you have to follow a lot of rules to be able to stream it properly. Otherwise, you're boned. It's fascinating to me just how restrictive they are. In general, it's fascinating to me how restrictive any game developer is about streaming. Unless it's a story-based game, but even then, if it's a story-based game, like in general, I feel like games just don't get sold if people just don't like them in the first place. It's very hard to sell it in the first place, right? And so you have all these people trying to stop the streaming as if that's like a huge, major loss of like revenue. But the truth is, if somebody wanted to play your game, they just wouldn't watch the stream. Or if somebody is like on the fence, they need to watch a stream to know what it's like, right? I'm reminded of that major streaming push by Palworld that they did right before release. I think it was 3 days before release. All the streamers that were playing it, they were in like the Discord channel for the game, and they all got like keys for it, or some of them were messaged for it. Like I've heard different stories of how they got it. And it's fascinating to sort of see like the push for streaming to happen with that game, because I think they recognized rightfully that whatever they could say about the game is probably not gonna convince people to buy it. They have an FAQ on their site that literally says this is not a scam, which is very, very funny to me. But I mean, they don't need it anymore. But by the time of release, they definitely needed something, right? Especially when you consider that their older game is Craftopia, which is also a game that's very hard to explain, but it's so good. It's like a very different kind of good, but it's very, very good. So you have this like very difficult to sell game, and it's like riffing on like a existing concept, hatching monsters and exploring like an open world and basically Zelda, right? It's so much so that the very first sound effect you hear is that like finding a new area sound, the like jingle from like Zelda. It's not exactly the same, but boy oh boy does it evoke the same feelings, right? So it's kind of hard to convince people to buy this game, but they rightfully recognize that hey, streaming is probably the only way to convince people, right? So that's a great example of like a game that I imagine a lot of people were on the fence about, and then they realize, okay, well maybe we'll help them jump off the fence and buy the game by just having everyone that they watch play the game. It seemed to work very well considering they have 7 million sales, but I imagine it was a very deliberate strategy on their part. Wait, they had an FQ that said that they're not a scam? That makes it sound scammy. Also, welcome back, the owner of the first ever emo star. Indeed they did. Here, let's see if I can pull it up. I wonder if they changed it. They it was on their official site, and I wonder if they changed it now that the game has been now the game has sold 7 million copies. It's like you know what I mean? It's like I don't think they need it. Oh wait, it's still here. Yeah, it's still here. It's still here. It's still here. Pal World. Early access FAQ. Is this game a scam? Is it a money-making MMO or virtual currency game? It is not a scam and will definitely be released January 19th. We promise you, this is definitely not a scam. Please buy our game. You know what? We know that no one will trust us, so we're going to let people stream the game. It was a great strategy. And, I noticed, a fair number of game developers are realizing that this is the right strategy to go with. To varying degrees of success. I saw, XQC got the contract to stream, I think it was Like a Dragon, the Yakuza game, the latest one, like a Dragon Ishin or something. I don't know how effective it is, considering that he didn't realize that it was a turn-based game. So, I mean, it's kind of hard, right? But, at the same time, it's like, at least they were trying, right? At least they were trying to reach out. Because, again, in my view, it's either your game had enough interest that it would sell anyways, or people are on the fence about it, so you need to convince them in some way, or they're just not going to buy it, right? I know a lot of people who are not into turn-based games, and no matter how great Yakuza is, I don't think they're gonna buy the anyone just because it's turn-based, which is kind of sad because I've heard that the latest one is actually pretty good. I've been meaning to get the game. But again, we have too many games to play, so we have to figure it out. Plus, the game is like $93 base, so it's kind of hard. That's a lot of money. But yeah, in general, I've seen some fascinating things about the game streaming space. And again, Game Center CX is a great show that I found. It's a very old show, but again, you can find the fan subtitled version of it online, totally safe. I can't say it because otherwise I think they'll get shut down. Oh god. I had to sneeze, sorry. So, hopefully the tradition of playing games for other people to watch will always carry on. Just like today. So I'm not going to be rambling on the entire day. That was all I really wanted to talk about. There's not really much else. What I do want to show you all is some weird games. Now I know I said on the New Year's resolution that we were going to be finishing games this year, right? And that we wouldn't start too many new games, okay? But just like another chat member said, they were like, yes, you're going to lose interest within like maybe two days. 2 days is a very generous amount of time. I lost interest after 1 day. So, we're going to be doing a couple things. We're going to be doing some weird games that I found. As far as I know, these are stream safe, but they're still kind of not safe for work. So if you're watching somewhere that doesn't appreciate a handful of chest, maybe don't watch this. But at the same time, it's like a small image on the bottom left, so it should be okay. There's a follow-up to it, and I'll explain the history of this game instead of what I found out about this game, because it's actually really cool. And I'll explain what exactly is going on with it. As far as I know, this is fine to stream, but it may be a little not safe for work. So just temper your like you're on your own. I just put it out there, okay? And we'll end with some more Road Warden because you may notice on the VOD channel, finally got all the VODs except for 3, sorry, because they're still processing. Fully uploaded, and boy oh boy, Road Warden has been on my mind. I've been thinking a lot about like what exactly is in the north, and like we have like 34 days left in the game, and I really want to figure out exactly what we're doing here. Like we have so many objectives but no real roles. We just know that there's something wrong in Old Pagos. So we're gonna be doing a couple things today, okay? We'll be kind of finishing one existing game, but we're gonna try to finish this game as well. I don't really know how long this one's going to take, but at least by the genre, it shouldn't take too long. So just give me a moment, and I'll start it up. And again, no VTuber model, just because I couldn't get the family share to work, and I have the license for the VTubing thing on another account, on my streaming account. So like you just have to look at him. Look at how delicious he looks. She's just sitting there. He's just happy.